We just reviewed WWF With Authority, the new online PC card strategy game by Genetic Anomalies and THQ. You'll know Genetic Anomalies because of their previous online card games, Chronex, and Chronex was a fairly successful game. It had a good following, but it was sci-fi in this futuristic world of their own design, and it was an original work. While WWF With Authority is based on the WWF, the ultra-popular wrestling federation that just about everybody knows about. Now, the really cool thing about WWF With Authority is that despite the graphics and sound, which are subpar, I mean, the graphics aren't that good looking, it's just a basic card interface, and the cards are just photographs of the wrestlers and their different moves, and the sound is pretty bad. I mean, all you've got is like some crowd noise effects going off in the background, going and doing noises like that, and you'll see some flash bulbs going off in the crowd, and it's pretty much a very simple interface. I mean, you might as well just be playing with normal cards. But the really good part about this game is the really tight game mechanics. Now, you can tell that Genetic Anomalies really tested this game a lot and made sure that it was balanced, that there was a thoroughly intense amount of cards and moves that you could get into, and it's pretty exciting how the different game types can evolve. You know, you've got these submission wrestlers, you've got the hardcore wrestlers, you've got steel cage matches, you've got submission wrestlers. You've got a bunch of different moves at your disposal, and you can build decks of just about any type that you like. The way that a With Authority match evolves is it starts off with two wrestlers, two superstars, and one of them will play momentum, which are the building blocks of your moves. Now, these could be either strike momentum, knowledge momentum, agility, technical, or strength. And you use this to be able to power up your other moves, which is very similar to mana in Magic the Gathering. Now, after you complete a move, you can have your opponent either counter it with a dodge or a duck or a suitable counter hold like an arm bar against a punch, or they can auto-counter by ditching cards out of their hand. Now, having cards in your hand is always to your advantage, so you can either have a lot of cards to do a lot of moves, or you can use them to counter moves. Now, besides the repertoire of moves that you'll have for your characters, you have the superstar special moves themselves. You'll have Triple H with his pedigree and his facebuster. You'll have Chris Benoit with his crippler crossface and his swan dive headbutt. You have Chris Jericho with the lion salt and with his lion tamer move, the walls of Jericho. And you've got just about all the really cool moves for each of the wrestlers that are enclosed in the game. Now, there's a lot of really cool wrestlers in this game. There's Taz. There's The Rock, there's Triple H, there's Chris Benoit, Chris Jericho, there's Al Snow, there's Shane McMahon, a bunch of names that you wouldn't have realized would be popular enough to be put in this game, but you will find some in there. Now, some wrestlers are more popular than others, but all of them have suitable deck types you can build to make them good for ranked and unranked play. Now, for those of you that like competition, WWF With Authority ranks you based on your wins, your losses, your draws, and how many times you've been cut off in the middle of matches. The reason why they do this is so that people can't just use the Windows Task Manager to just exit out of the game when they're losing. So you really know if you're playing somebody whether or not they're going to quit when they're losing or whether they're going to stick through it and either take the win or the loss. Now, the good thing is that there's been a community already developed around this game, and there's a lot of people out there. There's anywhere from 50 to 200 people at any time playing the game online, and it's pretty easy to find a match. And since you're able to buy cards online within the game with using the in-game store, or you can go to eBay and auction off cards or buy them from individual fans or trade cards with other players, it's really easy to build decks and to get the types of cards that you want for the specific deck you want to build. Now, I myself had an X-Pac deck, which is built around agile moves and lots of kicks and moving really fast, and I was able to build this really easily with a single booster box and some traded cards with other players. So I had a pretty good experience with the community in the game, and I found that people are very polite and you're able to get really fun, exciting matches with other players, and it's a really good community that's already been built around the game. Now, while WWF With Authority isn't the best looking game or the best sounding game, it is very fun to play. So I totally recommend it for anyone that's willing to get into some card gaming online.